Hi, welcome on into our show here with Sir LaGrace. My name is Cathy Pedrayes, and Sir LaGrace, which by the way, the website is just here. If you haven't heard about them before, it's a brand that's all focused on bringing natural plant-based products that enhance our lives into our home. So this entire hour is going to be focused on CBD products, and we have a variety of different uses of CBD products. We have pipes in the show, we have apparel in the show, but we also have salves that could be used for pain and things like that. So there's quite a bit of variety here. What we're starting off with is a brand called Zen Barn Farms, based right here in the United States, out of Vermont. And with us today is co-owner Marlena, who's going to tell us all about their company and where they come from. So tell me a little bit about Zen Barn Farms.
Sure. So Zen Barn Farms is located in Waterbury Center, Vermont. If you've ever been to Vermont, just go past Ben & Jerry's and you'll find us right there. So Zen Barn Farms is really all about community from soil to soul. And we incorporate wellness into our daily lifestyle. We started with growing on our property, which is where we continue to grow our high quality CBD. And people loved it at our restaurant. It started out in the food and then the drinks. People raved that they noticed that they're able to have conversations without feeling anxiety, or walked in not having or told us that they're not having the pain that they felt when they first arrived. So with that, we decided let's expand on this and provide more CBD products.
Mm-hmm. Now, what made you get into CBD to begin with?
Great question, because I love wellness and anything around it. And CBD is one of the many of cannabinoids that are within the plant. And it's so beneficial. It helps balance out what might be a little off in our body and relieves pain, stress, and a number of other things.
In a really natural way too, right?
Right.
Right. So let's start here with our first product. So this is called Wolf Balm, and it's a cooling relief salve. So if you don't know what that is, not to worry, we're going to talk about it. It's $49 to get it home. And within this jar, there are 600 milligrams of CBD. There's also CBN, 400 milligrams just there. And there's arnica in here as well. But there's also some other really nice ingredients, which I think you'll appreciate. But first, tell me about, the name here, Wolf Balm. Why wolf?
So why wolf is because our oldest son, Sedek, loves wolves. And similar to how I said that it's our lifestyle, his love of wolves, he ended up drawing a T-shirt and giving back to the Wildlife Adirondack Wildlife Center. So within our company too, we do the same thing. 1% of ourselves goes back to a social justice cause. And in this Wolf Balm, there is 600 milligrams of CBD as well as 400 milligrams of CBN and arnica. In addition, there is a lovely menthol and peppermint that adds for that instant cooling effect for chronic pain, to get really down and start to relieve you instantly. And the arnica helps absorb it in even further for a longer lasting pain relief.
And what else is in here? I know there's the CBD, the arnica, but what's the base that kind of holds it all together?
Right. So it's a coconut oil base. Yeah. So it also works as a great moisturizer. Yeah. You're smelling the fragrance of the lavender. There's also calendula in there, which is great for skin rashes as well, along with St. John's wort and other beautiful herbs.
Now, how am I supposed to use a salve? Because I know how to use lotions and creams. I kind of see, I see that pretty often, but a salve's a little bit different for me. So how do I use this?
So a salve is a healing topical. With our Wolf Balm, like I said, it's for chronic pain, or if you were jogging and maybe just overworked yourself, you can target right where that pain is.
Okay.
And I typically apply it twice a day. I have a chronic ankle injury from a car accident years ago. I put it on in the morning, and depending on how active my day has been, I'll apply it again at night. Never leave home without your salve. Done that before. And what's great about the topical salves is over time it absorbs into your system. So you'll notice that you start to apply it less. So it really lasts a long time as well.
I want you to notice also just, I mean, you're looking at it, the packaging is so pretty, right? It really kind of goes back to your natural roots. They're in Vermont. It kind of reminds us of where it is that we're, purchasing these products. And if you're noticing that logo, don't worry, we're going to talk about it a little later because that's got a unique story as well. So it's $49 to get this home. The Wolf Balm Cooling Relief product here, right? And so the reason why it's called cooling relief is because you do have that gentle cooling effect with the menthol, you said, right?
Correct.
That's what creates that. But it smells really nice as well. So it's not overpowering. I know sometimes we think about, these pain relief kinds of creams and you think, or salves rather, and you think it could be overpowering with the scent, but that's not the case here. So $49 gets this home. We do have one more to talk about, which is a little different, and you're not going to have that minty scent in that one, but it's also not so much meant for pain, right? This is really great for if you have some soreness and you want to target those pain areas, right?
Right. Both are great for pain. The Wolf Balm is great for chronic injuries and pain. The Daily Salve is great for acute pains and also works as a lovely moisturizer.
Okay. So the Daily Zen Calming Relief, which is on your screen right now, this one is $39. It's a 2-ounce jar, the same exact thing as the Wolf Balm. And this one has 600 milligrams of that CBD in the entire container. And like the Wolf Balm, both of these are really great for moisturizing. As Marlena mentioned, they're also not a greasy formula, which is something we haven't talked about yet. It's just, the texture of this. So this one's also a completely different color.
Right.
So tell me about this one.
So good observation.
Even the texture is a little different too.
Right. So with this one, it is shea butter base, and there's lavender and rosemary in there as well.
Okay. And I guess that's where we get the green, the rosemary. That makes sense because it's like a light green. Let me just. I put it over the. Oh, you know what? I put it over the peppermint, but I still get that herbaceous kind of rosemary scent, which is actually my favorite. It's like one of my favorite herbs: rosemary, basil, and what else do I have in my? I have mint. I have mint in my. Of course, everybody loves mint.
Right.
So how do I use this one?
So what's great about the Daily Salve is you apply it as needed. It's a moisturizer. Okay. It's really good for eczema and other skin irritations. I've heard parents that said their kids have had eczema. I know that my niece's daughter has had eczema, and she applied it to her skin to help relieve the itching from bug bites as well as the irritation from the eczema. And with the Daily Salve, you apply it as needed, and pretty much anywhere. Just rub it wherever feels bad or where you just want to have an extra glow and smell good.
That's true, because you do get a nice, when you're hydrated, your skin glows, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you apply something like this, obviously you're going to get that nice glowing effect. Now, this is full body, right? So neck down, kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say neck down because of the other essential oils, but that are in there. You don't want to irritate your face, but definitely neck down. Put it wherever you feel sore for acute pains. And over time, it takes about maybe 10, 15 minutes to absorb, and you'll start noticing the difference compared to the instant relief with the Wolf Balm.
Oh, got it. Okay, so the Wolf Balm is if we want more of that instant relief, and then this one is just kind of more daily use. But we don't have to use the Daily Zen for pain, right? We can use it for just kind of moisturization as well. Correct. What are some of the benefits of using, a salve like this that has the CBD in it?
Right. So CBD also is great for the skin. It has an anti-aging quality to it. And overall, too, even be it that it is CBD, you'll still get those other reliefs of maybe some stress relief or quieting of the mind or anxiety as well, because the CBD still absorbs into your body. It's moisturizing your skin, but it's also absorbing into your bloodstream as well.
And as a reminder, this has 600 milligrams of that CBD throughout the entire container, which is 2 ounces. So, of course, when you apply a little bit, you what do you recommend, by the way? How much should we apply to, say we wanted to do our arms or something?
Right. Just like the tip of your finger would be enough. It really spreads.
I know, it really does. I just took a little bit and it kind of went from my hand all the way up to my elbow. So, of course, when you're applying that, you're not applying the full 600 grams, you're applying a smaller amount, which is what you took out of the jar. So 2 ounces here, $39 gets this home. It's a non-greasy formula, but it is really nice and absorbent, of course, effective at moisturizing our skin. Marlena mentioned that because it has CBD in it, there's also some anti-aging components there. But also, when we talk about CBD and some of the other ingredients in these salves, we are talking about some pain relief as well. Now, if you have chronic pain, we would recommend that you go ahead and get the Wolf Balm that we started the show with. But if you want something that's more daily use, then go ahead and get the Daily Zen, and that would definitely work for you. So now we're going to move on to another little treat, which is the bath bomb. Now, this bath bomb has 100 milligrams of the CBD, but it also has some lavender in there. You can see that here. It's a nice big size as well. And this one is only $13 to get it home. It's a 5-ounce bath bomb. And for $13, feel free to pick up more than one. Obviously, it's a really, really nice gift because, who doesn't love a nice, luxurious bath? Okay, so tell me about the bath bomb, because I know you have kids and this is something that you use a lot in your home.
Yes, this is a favorite in my household. Whenever I come home with a bath bomb, I make a point to bring more than one because I know my son Ezra is going to definitely want to take a tub, as he calls it.
Oh, that's cute.
Right. So what's great about this bath bomb, like she said, it has 100 milligrams of CBD, but in addition, there's this lovely aromatic effect of the lavender that just fills the room. And as over time, if you use the whole bath bomb at once, because you can break it up into 4 and have 4 baths, or just one luxurious bath where the CBD absorbs into your body and it feels like you're pretty much about to just melt away.
Is that that's what it feels like in the tub?
Yes,
just
that's what it feels
melt away.
Yes.
Now, how does it work when you put a bath bomb in a tub? Do you have to put the water first? Does the bath bomb go first? Which one? How does that happen?
Great question. If you really want to get the whole sensory effect, fill your tub as high as you normally would, and then drop the bath bomb in. I like to be in the tub when I do it because then the bomb just starts to circle around and you see it fizzing and you get to hear it, you smell it, and absorb the CBD all at the same time.
You mentioned smell. Talk to me about the lavender that's in here.
Lavender? So what can I say about lavender? I just love lavender. Lavender smells good. It's also a great anti-inflammatory. Mm-hmm. And in combination with the CBD, which has its natural terpenes that pretty much respond to whatever is off in our body, the lavender plays into those aromatic effects of the terpenes along with the CBD.
Of course, yeah. Whenever I think of lavender, I think of aromatherapy as well, right? Like that's kind of the main thing. People say you spritz a little bit on your pillow before you go to bed, and it's supposed to help you relax before bed. So, when I think of lavender, I of course think of relaxation, and this is a bath bomb, so that's the perfect place to relax, grab your favorite book, your favorite, cocktail or drink or whatever it might be, throw on some candles, dim the lights. And this is a really nice big size. You could see right here, I'm holding it in my hand. It's a nice big size for $13. Marlena mentioned you could break it up into 4, you could break it up into 2, or you could do one big luxurious bath if you'd like. And I want to ask you one more question, Marlena. What about skin types? Is there, is this safe for everybody? I know you mentioned children, adults.
Well, it depends. Some people are sensitive to lavender or maybe allergic to lavender. So be aware of what you're allergic to. But it's great for all skin types. And lavender is, in addition to the CBD, the smell is very calming and relaxing. So when my son has this before bedtime, it helps him ease to sleep even better.
And this has full spectrum CBD in it?
Right. All of our products have full spectrum CBD.
So what does that mean? How is that different from other types of CBD?
Right. So some products, they pull out some of the aspects of the CBD. We keep everything all intact so you get the full benefits of the cannabinoids along with the terpenes so that you get the most effect from the product. As well, our products go through a natural process called sonication, which pretty much zaps them and makes them a little smaller so that it absorbs into the body quicker.
So that's actually really important to mention, although we already talked about it. But, when we talked about the salves a little bit earlier. So just know that the CBD that's in this and in the Daily Zen and also in your bath bomb, that the way it is produced to be manufactured into these products is done in a way that makes it easier for your body to absorb it so that you get to enjoy the full benefits of it. And remember, this bath bomb is only $13 to get it home. By the way, I did notice that on the Sir LaGrace website, which is where you shop for these products, I noticed there is a coupon code if you spend over $100. So that's something to think about as we talk through these products. Don't check out right away. I would check out at the end of the show when you've seen everything so that you can kind of stock up and then get a feel for that discounted price. So Here we have the bath bomb. Feel free to pick up more than one. There's only one choice, which is that relaxing lavender to choose from. And then when you get it home, you can use it for yourself. You can use it for kids. I personally love taking a bath. It's like I have this gorgeous bathtub. You know, it feels really nice to just go in there and take a couple minutes not a couple minutes. That's a shower. Take like 20 minutes for yourself, right? I stay in there until the water gets cold.
Yeah.
That's my, try. I know sometimes it could be a little bit difficult, but try to do that. And remember that all of these products are made right here in the United States, in Vermont, and they're all natural, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's move on now to something that's a little different, definitely new to me. These are the Zen Barn Farms flowers. So I'm just going to pull this over here. I'm going to grab, so these are a bunch of different strains, and then these are just extras that we'll talk about because there's also a combo pack in how you can pick these up. So each one of these strains, this is what it looks like inside the little jars here. So each one is $8. But you'll notice there's a bunch of different options. There's Hawaiian haze, sour suver haze. Take a look while you're looking at your screen that the percentages are a little bit different here as well. So there are, 6 different ones to choose from. Each of them are $8. We also, like I mentioned, have a combo pack, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But with each of these, I know it can be a little bit confusing. We'll talk about some of our favorites here on air. It can be a little bit confusing to kind of, keep track of which ones you like. If you're unsure, just go to sirlagrace.com. You'll be able to read an in-depth description about each one of these items. If you're joining us, on your digital channels, you could probably just kind of click below at the screen and look at the link to be able to read the products along as we describe them. But before we go into that, let's just talk about what is a flower. Like what are these in here?
So what you're looking at is actually the cannabis plant. So with CBD, it's bred to have less THC. So there's only 0.3% of THC in the flower. And with CBG, which is the one I believe you're holding now, it pretty much has no THC at all. And with CBG, it's great to take in the daytime, be it that it has no THC. It gives you more of alert and energizing effect to start your day, which helps you focus.
So is this something like, if I use, am I going to be high if I use this?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not with any of the CBD products.
Okay.
CBD.
So it just looks like the thing that gets you high, but it's not the same
Right.
thing.
You don't get the psychoactive effect that you would with THC.
I just want to know because you have to know how to use this with like work and school and things like that. Okay. So explain to me, because I mentioned earlier that there were different percentages on the bottles. What does that mean? Because I see some say 13%, some say 18, 16. What does that mean?
Right. So in general, with CBD percentages, if it has a higher percentage of CBD, it's usually more sedating and relaxing. And if it's a less percentage of CBD or a lower percentage of CBD, it's great for daytime use, like I mentioned, to stay alert or focus and be relieved from stress. And there's different ways that you can enjoy the flower. I love to have it as a tea.
Oh, how do you do that?
You could steep it as you would your regular tea, or you can add it to honey to infuse it.
You can get a little honey that you have at home and you just put one of these in there and let it sit for how long?
Well, it depends on how intense you want the flavor to be.
And probably how much honey is in the jar too, I would imagine.
If you heat it or not, there's ways to do it in the sun or stove.
Okay.
I like to do it by sun.
So we have honey, teas, any other ways that people use these?
Yes, you can vaporize it, or you can also enjoy it as a pre-roll. And you'll see later on too in some of our other products, my favorite way is to have it in one of our handmade pipes.
Oh, well, since you mentioned it, I'll just give you like a quick glance because it is coming up. So this is, one of the pipes. Wait, so you can smoke this?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. So it is like the leaf. You just don't get those psychoactive effects.
Right. You get the benefits of pain relief, reduced anxiety.
Okay.
For some people, it might decrease or increase your appetite. It helps balance off the cannabinoids that are in each of our bodies.
I see. Now, I'm just going to put this back because we will talk about that next. I want to remind you that there are multiple choices. So I know it can be a little overwhelming because there's so many to choose from, but if you have any trouble, you just go to sirlagrace.com. You'll be able to find it under Zen Barn Farms. Each one is $8, and you'll be able to see a really nice in-depth description about, what it tastes like and how it's produced and the different percentages and all of that. But just while we're here, I'll mention some of the strains that we have. So we have CBG white flower, Hawaiian.
That's one of my favorites.
Is it? All right, we'll talk about that. Hawaiian Haze, Bubba Kush, Sour Lifter, Sour Suver Haze, and Suver Haze. But they're all $8, so feel free to mix and match. Tell me, why is the CBG white flower one of your favorites?
So the CBG is one of my favorites, like I said, because I do have a chronic injury, and CBG really targets deep joint and or tissue pain. For me, it's the tissue, the nerve tissue. Also, I love the look of this flower and the smell. It's a very earthy, pungent smell, and the flowers are bright and orange and a little frosty.
You know what? I didn't smell it when I pulled it out before.
And
yeah. You know what? It kind of smells like a tea, like a kind of orangey tea. So is that how you like to have it?
That is how I like to have it, and also, like I said, in the pipe.
My goodness, it doesn't. You know, sometimes when you see things like this, you expect it to be like really pungent and you know, kind of like when you're walking on the corner of the street, you smell it and like you can smell it from a block away. This doesn't smell like that. This really smells like a tea store. Right.
And that one has 12.9% CBG. And all of our CBD is lab tested, and you can see our certificate of analysis on solargrace.com as well. I will admit too, I have another favorite.
Oh, which one?
It's the Bubba Kush.
Okay. I see that one. Where is that? Right here. It's the green label right there. Okay.
Right. So what's great about the Bubba Kush is, again, the smell. It's a nice, when you smoke it, it lets off a nice chocolatey kind of coffee.
Ooh, wait a minute. Let me just try that myself then.
Right. Who doesn't like coffee and chocolate?
That is a good mix. Hang on. Let's see. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's definitely, it's amazing how all the strains really do smell different.
Right.
Which makes sense, because then that means they would taste different too.
And another reason, but beyond the smell, why this one is my favorite is because it really relaxes the muscle. It has a kind of tranquilizing effect.
Okay.
So if you've had a long, stressful day, again, CBD is great for pain. But if you had a long, stressful day, it just relaxes all your muscles that you can just ease into wherever you're at in your day and forget about the stories that you're telling in your head that are distracting you, or the pain that you have as well.
That's some kind of a reoccurring theme that you'll find throughout the show, right? Because when people are turning to CBD products, often it is because of anxiety or pain or something like that that makes us want to find natural remedies. And so you'll find that throughout the show and really on solargrace.com, because there are more products from Zen Barn Farms that we're not able to highlight in this 1 hour show. So just as a reminder, because we did start the show with some topical kinds of treatments. So, you know, we have the daily Zen Salve here, which could be used for some pain, but it's also got some anti-aging properties and just something that could be used daily. But for more chronic pain, the Wolf Balm Cooling Relief has menthol in it. So it has that nice cooling effect that a lot of people look for when they're looking for their pain cream. So depending on your, you know, your options there, the Wolf Balm is $49. The Daily Zen is $39. And then another topical option that we just talked about, was the bath bomb, or is the bath bomb. Everything's available on solargrace.com. So that one was just $13. So these are ways that we can enjoy it outside of our body, which definitely has some benefits. But then when we're talking about these flowers and the different strains, this is one way that we can enjoy it inside of our body, right? Because tell me again how I can use these flowers.
Right. So you can use it a number of different ways. You can vaporize it. You can have it in a tea. You can smoke it. You can also infuse it if you're the DIY type, which I love to do. So those are some of the ways that you can enjoy it too. And with the Bubba Kush too, I forgot to mention one of the reasons why I really like it. It puts you in a very happy mood. It just makes you feel very pleasant, and it can shift it just shifts your mood.
So when you mentioned tranquil before, it doesn't mean like tranquilize.
Right. No, not
different kind of relaxed but happy.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so just as a reminder, each of these are $8. You can feel free to pick up more than one. We do have a combo pack which has a little collection of 3 of them that I'll talk about in a minute. The price turns out to be the same, so $24, but I'll tell you what's in that one in a moment. So $8, and we have the choice of the CBG white flower, the Hawaiian Haze, the Bubba Kush, the Sour Lifter, Sour Suver Haze, and Suver Haze. But they're all $8. And also this box that you're seeing behind all of them, that's how they'll come packaged to you, along with these nice little natural fillings, which I like because I'm tired of getting like packages with peanuts. I hate that.
Right. So yeah, in addition to our lovely packaging as well, the flour is all lab tested and meets the purity compliance standards as well, and is organic.
Oh, really? And how do you guys harvest these?
Oh my gosh, that is so fun. So we have a little harvest party on our property where we grow, and we invite the community over. It's our business is very community oriented. The food from our restaurant even goes into the compost for our soil. So
That's good.
Right.
Better to use that instead of tossing it.
Exactly. So it first starts with, before the harvest, just making sure we have good fertile soil so that we have a great quality plant, because you can't have good medicine with bad soil.
Yeah, I think I remember that from like early American history. Like people would come and soil wasn't good and it didn't work out for them.
So we get out there, we put on our gloves with our little clippers and just start to trim away at the stems and take it through a little pull system that helps get some of the flowers off a little faster.
Wait, so you're doing it by hand?
Exactly. It's all handcrafted and trimmed.
Wow, that seems like a lot of work.
It's like a form of meditation.
Okay.
You get into a rhythm, you're socializing with people. It's really nice. It's like, excuse me, it's like a harvesting cipher, if you will. So we trim it and then we let it dry in our barn. And then later on, we take it to our local lab to have it CO2 extracted for the oil that goes into our tincture.
So how long does it normally take from the time it is in the ground to the time we see it in like a little container like this?
Right. So you generally plant in June and we harvest mid to late September.
Oh, okay. And what about with the drying process too? How long does that take?
Right. So then we dry it for at least about a month or so.
Oh, wow. So it's a long process.
Right.
And remind me again, just because I know, at home you might be having a hard time figuring out, like, how do I make my purchase? Which one am I supposed to choose? So if you go on the website, sirlagrace.com, you'll be able to see a really nice in-depth description of all the different strains and how to compare them and which one may or may not work for you. Marlena loves the CBG white, if that helps you. And she also loves the Bubba Kush. Just as a reminder, the Bubba Kush is that coffee, chocolatey kind of flavor. And the CBG white, which is the one right here that says the white, that one is more orange. And it really does smell like a nice tea that you would find at your favorite tea store. Each one of these is $8. And just remind me again what the percentages mean, because I'm looking at them on the screen and I can't remember.
So with the percentages of CBD, if it has a higher level percentage of CBD, it's usually more sedative and relaxing. If it's a lower level of CBD, it's usually more energizing.
So if I'm buying one that has a higher amount, or actually, I guess with any of these, how do I know how much of it to use? Like, do I use the whole flower, half a flower?
Well, in general, too, I wouldn't get too caught up on the percentages because it's what benefits each person. So if something that you're reading on solargrace.com really draws you, if it's the flavors or it's the effects that you read that these have, that's what you should focus on, and don't get too caught up in the percentages.
Gotcha. And like, if I was going to make a tea, would I put the entire thing or would I just break off a little? Like, how do you do it?
Well, for me, it's all about the full sensory experience. So take the time to actually break it up and you could, if you're a DIY person, put it in a little tea bag. Or if you have a loose leaf little teacup holder, put in one of those
little metal clamps.
Right. Yeah. So fill it with the amount of tea that you normally would, but using the flour.
Okay. Got it. Now, if I have some teas at home and I wanted to mix this with the tea, can I do that too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So each one of these is $8. And I just wanted to now talk about that combo pack for a moment, because as I mentioned, they're all $8 in the combo pack. All we've done, the price is really the same, but what we've done is we've just combined a little collection here of the CBG White, the Sour Suver Haze, and then the Sour Lifter. So we just did a little combo pack. So if you're not sure, you're, a little bit indecisive, you just want somebody to make the decision for you, here. We've done that here. It has one of Marlena's favorites, but then you also get to try some new ones in here as well. So these are $24 to get it home, or you can make your own combo pack, or you can buy all 6 by just picking up the ones here for $8. However you'd like to do it. And they both come in that nice packaging that you see in the back here. Although I think, let me just see. I think, oh yeah, no. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't leave out a flavor. Okay, or strain. I keep calling them flavors because, when I look at the containers, it looks like candy flavors.
Right, and with the smell too, it makes you think of certain flavors.
Yeah.
And there is subtle flavors that come across. Like we said with the Bubba Kush, there's that chocolatey, and with the CBG White, it's a more earthy, pungent flavor.
And I got that orangey sense from it too, which was really nice. Okay, so let's move on to those pipes that we talked about, because we could put the flowers, you could do it in tea, you could do it in honey, you can do it all different ways. But one of the ways Marlena mentioned was that we can put it in a pipe, and we actually have some for you this morning that are really, really nice and special and hand carved. So the pipes are $65. But then we also have these tips for you, and the tips are going to be $30. So we'll talk first about the pipes, but I just want you to know, because these go together, right? Or no?
No. So
I thought these clearly I thought they were the same.
The tips are if you smoke your pre-roll, if you smoke the flower in the joint form, if you will.
Never mind. I will bring these back in a minute. I misunderstood how you use those. Okay. So talk to me about these hand-carved bowls. I do want you to know, actually, with this, there are a couple of choices. Let me just go through that first. So you might notice this one is a left hand holding it. This one is a right hand holding it. So if you have a preference there. And this one has no hand. So just depends on the kind of aesthetic. They're all the same color. They're all hand carved, and they're all $65. So tell me about the process of how you guys, came up with these.
Right. So this story really began way before Zen Barn Farms with how we came to come about these pipes. Noah traveled to Tanzania years ago for work and became really good friends with some local artists. His parents have an art gallery in Stowe, Vermont, Remarkable Things. And he started to bring back some of that local artwork to Vermont. And recently he reconnected with a friend from Tanzania once we opened our CBD store, and we knew we wanted to support other small local businesses. So we partnered with his friend who works with the Makandi wood carvers.
Okay.
And they are well renowned for their wood carving. These are all handcrafted. And it's great if you have 2 people in the house that like to smoke a pipe with the right and left hand, whose is who.
That's true.
And my favorite is actually the one without the hand. It reminds me a lot of my grandfather, so I'd use it regularly.
I can see that. Just because of the shape is very classic.
Right.
By the way, is there anything to the shape? Is that just the classic kind of pipe shape that you guys were going for here?
Yeah, it's just a nice smooth feel and shape, and it makes for a nice flow. You can pack your pipe as little or as much as you want, and once you start to pull, it just continues to go. If I pack mine about half full, and I maybe light it about 4 times, if that, and it lasts a long time.
What is this little indentation at the end?
For me, I use it as a resting point. Of like how far you want to put it in.
Okay.
Or you can just put your teeth on it.
Okay.
It's for aesthetics, but however you like to play with it.
So it's just got it. So it's just kind of like to remind you where to. I get it. It's like just a fun little touch there. Now, in terms of the options, we have the left hand and the right hand, which Marlena gave us a good idea. She said, if you have different people in your family who, smoke in the same household, that's a really nice way to know whose is whose. You could also, by the way, do one of the hands and just do one of the bowls. Either way, they're all $65. And then, so we have the hands, and then we have the one without the hands. They're all hand carved in Tanzania they're not really his friends, right? He just befriended the group of artists.
One of the individuals actually is.
Oh, okay.
But it's the group of artists is called the Makandi Carvers.
And I have heard of that tribe name, so I think they are pretty well known for that.
Yeah, they're world known, world renowned wood carvers. So each one, be it that it's handcrafted, each one is unique as well. There's subtle differences to each one that make them.
Yeah, you're right.
Your own.
You could even see that here with the right hand and the left hand. You can see some variation in, just the thickness of the finger a little bit, which makes sense because these are hands and everyone's hands and everyone as a person is different as well. Now, what's the best way to care for our pipes? Because these are hand carves, I want to make sure that we can preserve them for a long time. What's the best way to take care of them?
Well, it's made from African black wood.
Okay.
So the same way that you might maybe treat your wood with some oil to keep it from getting over dried, definitely don't get it too wet.
Okay. So we wouldn't put this in the dishwasher.
Right.
Okay. All right. Got it. So this is something that you would really want to hand clean, and then to just kind of help preserve it, you could do some nice mineral oil or something like that.
Right.
To kind of treat it. And it's painted as well?
That's the wood.
Oh, that's the natural
African black wood.
Wow. It feels, because it's so smooth, it feels like maybe it was painted or glossed or something like that. But no, that's just the wood.
Right.
And then inside is where you would put the flour, which, by the way, if you missed that, we do have flowers that you can put in your pipe. But of course, if you have something else at home, you can put it in here too, right?
Right. And
okay.
Yeah, different herbs you can smoke along with mixing it with your CBD.
Okay. So it's $65 for each one of these pipes. So we have one that doesn't have the hands, and then we have two with the hands. We have right hand and left hand. So that's all up to you. Each one is $65 to choose from. If you have multiple people in your home and you want to get, somebody the right hand, somebody the left hand, something easy so that you can tell each other apart. Marlena gave us that idea as well. Or of course we have just that classic shape. And these are all hand carved in Tanzania. And, I imagine that when you're buying something from a group of artisans in Tanzania where they're hand carving it, this really probably has an impact on their community there.
Right. So when we sell these pipes in particular too, the profits from these sales go back to that community.
Which makes sense. Okay, so now I'll talk about the tips. And you're going to have to tell me what these are used for. So these are the tips, also hand carved in Tanzania, but there are two choices. There's a smooth option and there's the spiral option. They're both $30, so it's just kind of, what your personal, what you prefer in terms of the design. You can kind of see it there. I'll hold it up for you. So what is a tip? We'll start with that.
So the tip is a way to hold your joint, which is if you wrap your flour in a paper to smoke it.
Okay. And then I would put the paper in here.
Right. So the tip of your joint would go into that tip. And if you like to smoke it all the way to the end, it's a nice way to not end up burning yourself.
Oh, that's
and
true.
And also just a beautiful way to enjoy your pre-roll.
Now, when I put the tip, how does that work? Do I have to cut both ends off? Do I only cut one end? Are you looking for this?
Yeah, I'm a visual learner, so I'll show.
Okay, yeah, show me.
Pop that open.
This is coming up a little bit later, by the way.
And you put it in like this.
So do you have to cut anything or no?
Absolutely not.
So you just burn the, okay.
And also too, if you like for a less harsh of a smoke, the tip actually extends it so the heat's not hitting your mouth as quickly.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so we are going to talk about these a little bit later. They are pre-rolled, and that's actually coming up next. But these are hand-carved in Tanzania. Tell me again what the tribe is who makes these.
It's the Makandi carvers.
And how did your husband come across finding them? I'll take that, don't worry.
Well, like I mentioned, he traveled to Tanzania years ago, and he was friends with one of the carvers. So it was a collaboration with his friend and the other carvers in that community.
Whose idea was it?
This was Noah's idea, actually. And it's his idea, and I will say Noah is all about wanting to make me happy. So he knew that I wanted a new pipe. I always break the glass ones. With the tips, I smoke mine to the tip. I burn my fingernails. So these were two things that were brought in because he realized it makes me enjoy my smoke better. So, of course, other people would enjoy it as well.
That's a good point. With the black ones, with the glass ones, obviously glass is fragile, right? So these are probably easier to care for. We could, I'm sure, pack them with us and all of that.
Yeah.
So with this, there's two options. There's a smooth and there's the spiral. They're both $30. They're hand carved in Tanzania. And the way you use them is to simply put your joint in here, and then you would smoke out of the other side. Everything, is carved for you by hand. I know it's a little bit hard to see because they're black. Oh yeah, and tell me about the wood that you use on these again.
So that's ebony. It's similar to ebony, but it's actually African blackwood.
African blackwood, and that's just like a natural wood that grows in Tanzania.
Right.
I've never seen, that kind of finish on it, but it is really nice and tactile. It kind of reminds me, have you ever, especially the smooth one, have you ever gone to like one of those gem stores and found a worry stone? Where you just kind of, it's like a gem, but it's flat. And so you just end up kind of touching it until eventually you wear through the stone. This kind of reminds me of that, especially the smooth one. I feel like I would just be touching. You know what? Maybe if you are a very tactile person and like to hold things, and then you want one that you're not going to be holding all the time, just get both, because the smooth one does feel really nice. Like I would just use this for like anxiety by itself.
Your own personal fidget.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little fidget. That's what it feels like. But anyways, okay, so now let's talk about what we can use these tips with, because if you have things at home, you can certainly use that, but we also have some things in the show that you might want to use with your tips. So let me just go ahead and pull up the Daily Zen Cones. These are pre-rolled. Here they are. So Marlena showed us one just a moment ago, but I'll have her explain this a little bit more. Each one is $8. Like the flowers, which we showed you earlier that you can use in teas and honeys and all of that, these also have a whole bunch of variety of strains. So you have the Bubba Kush, you have the Sour Paste Candy. That's a little different from the flowers that we talked about earlier. You have Suver Haze, Hawaiian Haze, and you have Sour G. So talk to me about a pre-rolled cone. What is that?
So what the pre-rolled cone is us taking our flour, grinding it up, and we do this all at our CBD shop. We grind it up, put the paper in our pre-roll machine, and then roll it, then pop them in there. And what a pre-roll is a way to smoke the CBD flower.
Okay.
And you get to enjoy the aromatic effects that come from it. You want me to show you?
Oh no, I mean, show me the joint. So this has a little tip built into it,
right?
But we could also use it with the hand carved tips that we were just talking about. So we can do that, and then it has the paper, and then all you have to do is burn it,
right?
And how long does something like this last?
It depends on this. It depends on the user, honestly. Some people might smoke. It's 1 gram that's packed in there, by the way, too. So it's a lot. You don't need to smoke the whole pre-roll to feel the effect. For me, just smoking about 3/4, not 3/4. What do I mean? Yes, 3/4 of it does enough for me, and I put it out, and I start to feel either more relaxed or my mood shift, depending on which one that I'm having.
Oh, so that's what I was going to ask. So what are some of the effects that we can, expect from a gram of a pre-rolled cone?
Right. So some of these strains that we mentioned, right, the Bubba Kush has that relaxing, almost, I don't want to say sedate. What's the word I want to use?
You had mentioned tranquil before?
Yeah, very tranquil effect. And compared to the CBG, which is a more energizing one, and also helps you focus, and it stimulates the mind in a way, but quiets the story. So that's what helps you focus with our CBG. So, but I would really encourage people to go to the Solar
Grace website.
Right.
Yeah. And because the reason why Marlena is saying that is because on the website we have really nice descriptions, that goes through each single strain in depth, and it tells you, about how it was harvested and what kinds of effects and benefits you can expect from this. Also, what it might taste like, what the flavors are like. Tell me, you had mentioned some of your favorites earlier, which were the Bubba Kush and the CBG white flower. Tell me again what those taste like, just so I have a feel, because that's kind of replicated here. Both, yeah, we have both options here.
Right. So one has that chocolatey coffee aroma and taste, and the other, the CBG white is more of an earthy flavor.
Right. So you do have those options here. By the way, each one is $8, just like the flower. So really, I mean, if somebody was undecided between picking up the flower or something like the cone, what would you tell them? And to, you know, in terms of how to decide which one is better for which kind of person?
Right. So if you're new to smoking the CBD flower and you don't smoke in general, have practice rolling, go with the pre-roll as a way to try out smoking. You don't have to worry about rolling it yourself. If you enjoy the full sensory effect of breaking up your flower and rolling it in your paper of choice, then you would choose that. And it's also like a bulk way of shopping.
That's true. And also with these, you know, you can use it different ways. You mentioned with teas, you could infuse honeys and different things like that. So it also, if you plan on cooking with it like you do in your restaurant, then maybe this would be like a really good option. But if you plan on just enjoying it yourself, then these would be a really nice option. And because they're pre-rolled, they also do come in these, you know, protective packages that'll keep it from getting smushed or anything like that.
I'm glad you mentioned the restaurant, because that reminded me too. You can mix this in with your other seasoning herbs that you have at home. Oh. Mix it in with different spices. Add it to food as well.
Like salt and pepper?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the cones, 1 gram cones, these are $8. The flowers, which we also have a variety of strains, those are also $8. So if you've never tried it before, maybe you pick up a cone for yourself. Maybe you want to try some cannabis kinds of recipes or CBD recipes, and you can do the flowers with that. So either way, they're both $8. But we will move on to some of the other items that we have. I just want to mention too that if you want to pick up the cone, you could also get the tip, which is $30. And remember that on SirlaGrace.com, there is currently a promo code at the top of the website where you get 10% off if you spend $100 or more. So feel free to shop around from the show or from some of the other Zen Barn items that are on the website. Everything is produced here in the United States. It's all from Vermont. And, you know, when we talk about the flowers and all of that, these are all hand harvested. Actually, does that apply to the cones as well?
Yes. So it's the same flower that we have harvested, and then it's then broken down and then packed into the paper. Into the cones.
So, you know, everything here is done by hand. You're supporting a farm in Vermont. And then in the case of the Tanzanian tips or the pipes, you're also supporting artisans over in that country. But the other thing I want to remind you of, and we did talk about this at the top of the show, but just with Zen Barn Farms in general, 1% of the proceeds do go to a variety of social justice causes. So kind of depending on the products, you know, the Tanzanian pipes and tips, those go specifically to Tanzania. But there are, when you're shopping in general, even if it's a hat or whatever it might be, some of the salves or bath bombs that we had a little bit earlier, you're supporting causes in a variety of different ways, but you're also supporting yourself with a little treat. Okay, so these are the cones. Next, we're going to move on to some clothing. And we're going to start with a hoodie. So I'm just going to grab this. It's on your screen right now. These are unisex. They're $50. In terms of sizing, the sizing is extra small to double extra large. So you have a variety there. Here, let's see. What size is this that I'm holding in my hand? This one is a large. And honestly, I would like this size for myself because I like my hoodies to be nice and baggy. Mm-hmm. And this is like a really good, you got a good length on here as well. Like this large size, I don't want to like cover the mic, but this large size would cover my butt too, which is nice. Because that's one thing with leggings, you know, sometimes they could be too short and like you end up showing too much, especially if the leggings are sheer or something. Right. So with a nice big hoodie, you cover that up.
Exactly. And my grandmother always said, keep your head and butt covered.
Your head and butt.
Head and butt covered.
Well, you've got the butt part down, but you're not listening to her with the head right now.
Well, with the hoodie.
Oh, I see. Like for winter.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense. I thought just like all the time.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Every grandma always tells you, like, do you have your sweater? Did you lock the doors? Mm-hmm. Did you, you know, this is like grandma 101 here. So, okay, tell me about the fabric. What is this made with? Because it feels really nice and soft.
So that is a blend of cotton and polyester. Mm-hmm. It is very breathable and soft.
Yeah.
extremely soft.
I know. It kind of feels like a nice Pima. I want to show you the inside as well, because, sometimes the inside of hoodies or clothing in general could be kind of scratchy and itchy. This has that nice brushed feel, which I think is perfect as we're, approaching the fall season, the winter season. This is something that, sure, you could put on a t-shirt underneath, or, long sleeve t-shirt underneath. But if you're not wearing anything underneath it, you don't have to worry about it feeling like itchy or scratchy on your skin, because I hate that. Sometimes those, like, the school kind of hoodies that you get from your high school or whatever, those like souvenir hoodies, sometimes inside it's like this itchiness. So this, you don't have to worry about that. Nice and soft, even on the hair, which is great. And then you do have those drawstrings. You have the sleeves here at the end are cuffed, which is really nice because you'll be able to kind of shimmy them up or shimmy them down as you need to. And then you have that kangaroo pocket, and you have a nice trim here at the bottom as well, which is probably close to like 2 inches there. So that's really nice to give you that little extra weight, help you to keep your hoodie in place. I like the kangaroo pocket for walks. I like to keep my my doggy bags, my phone, my keys, all of that, or just keep my hands nice and toasty in the winter. And then I just want to show you the back of this, because there is, the Zen Barn logo right here. Sorry, Zen Barn Farms logo right here in the back, reminding everybody of what you're supporting when you take home a piece of apparel or a piece of anything else in the show. And there's also a really nice logo in the front, which you're seeing on your screen there. As a reminder, the sizing is unisex, extra small to double extra large. It's $50 to take it home. And tell me about that that logo that we're seeing on the gentleman there, and also on some of the other apparel.
Right. So what our Zen Barn Farms logo represents is about balance, the balance that CBD can create in our body, and also about having that daily Zen with you. So it's a reminder to have balance in your life. You can have it in different ways in your daily practices, and for us, it's with our CBD.
And who's this thing? I know you had told me earlier. I thought it was a music note at first, this little circle here with, but Marlena told me it was something else.
Yeah, so what that is to represent like a person's meditating.
Oh, and it does look like a little person here. Here's the head. Here's the body. The leaves here are, I guess, the hand or like the heart.
Well, the leaves represent actually using the cannabis.
Okay.
Like for me, I meditate, and before I get into my meditation practice, I do enjoy my pipe.
Gotcha.
CBD.
And then you have the little legs here, and also these legs make another kind of little symbol here.
Yes, an infinity symbol. So we're always in a constant state of change, and sometimes it can be chaotic. But the play, like with Zen Barn, our name is that juxtaposition of a barn and also finding Zen. When you hear barn, you don't usually think of calmness, but everyday life isn't always necessarily calm. So with Zen Barn, it's a reminder to, in the midst of the chaos, to still keep your Zen.
And as a reminder with this, I feel free to size up with these, because I personally like to have my hoodies baggy. I think a lot of us do, especially if you're layering something underneath, right? You're wearing your long sleeve t-shirts, or maybe you have, another kind of sweater or something like that. And so you want to make sure that you're nice and comfy. I actually think that, if I were picking this up today, I'd probably get either a medium or a large. I'm holding the large right now, and this seems like a great length for me.
Right.
And it doesn't seem, too large in terms of the width, but even if it was, who cares? My little sister's 16, and she bought a hoodie that was like a 2X or a 3X just because she wanted it to fit like a dress. And so you can do that. And if, by the way, if you did do that, like if you're, on the more petite side, you can also belt it and do kinds of fun things like that. And just as a reminder, the inside is really nice and soft and brushed, so you don't have to worry about any itchy, scratchy, anything, on your skin. I know that's something that, especially we were talking earlier about people who are like really tactile. That's something that can be really annoying. So this is really, really nice and soft inside. It's a cotton polyester blend. And what's the best way to care for our hoodies or for any of the apparel in your line?
Right. So you can throw it in your wash machine, and it's also safe for the dryer.
Okay.
Just for me, but anything that has a print on the front, I always like to turn it inside out just so that image lasts longer. But these already have a lovely what's the word?
Distressed, yeah.
Distressed print on there.
Right, yeah. When you look at the logo, you'll notice it's not just like a solid white harsh line. It really has some distressing. And that, by the way, that's not just on the hoodie. We're going to talk about a t-shirt next, and that's on the t-shirt as well. And the hat is different because that's embroidered. So, okay, with the hoodie, it's $50 to get it home. It is unisex. It's a cotton polyester blend that's machine wash, tumble dry. Marlena recommends that we turn it inside out to preserve the life of the logo. The sizing is extra small to double extra large. Extra small to double extra large. It is true to size, but feel free to, size to your comfort. Right now, the trend is to have everything kind of oversized and baggy. So feel free to do that. $50, you can use this for exercising, jogging, walking, just like lounging around the home. Hoodies are really nice and comfy for that. Next, I want to talk about the t-shirt, which actually Marlena is wearing, and it's also just behind me on the mannequin there. So this t-shirt, same sizing as the hoodie. It's extra small to double extra large. It's $25 to get this home. It's also true to size. Slight difference here is that we have ones cut for a woman's body and then ones that are cut for a man's body. So you are going to have a choice of, what kind of cut do you want with this? And you also have just the sizing option. Now same as the hoodie, this one's also really, really soft.
Right. So this one is, again, a blend of cotton and our lovely two sisters, polyester. And it's very stretchy. You can practice yoga in it, go for a hike.
Really stretchy.
It's pretty breathable as well. And it's also really soft.
It is really soft. So one thing you'll notice with the t-shirts and even with the hoodie is it kind of feels like a Pima cotton. Like sometimes I think cotton and I think something that's stiff, something that's rigid, something that's a little heavy, something that needs fabric softener because it's so like, oh my gosh, what am I holding? So with this, you don't have to worry about that. Actually, I would skip the fabric softener altogether with any of your nice cotton fabrics because it's really not necessary and it just ends up clogging the pores. So that's how you get that like waxy feeling. If you've ever felt that on fabrics, your towels and things like that, that waxy feeling is because you're using fabric softener. So here you have a nice cut around the neck as well. It's a crew neck, which is great. You have short sleeves and then in terms of the sizing, it's an extra small to a double extra large. What size are you wearing?
I am wearing a small.
Okay.
And just for reference too. So in general, like these pants are a 0. I usually run small for tops I wear an extra small. But for this, I liked it to be a little less form-fitting. Mm-hmm. I have it tucked in. You can wear it in different ways because it's a shirt that I would like to be active in.
Gotcha. Well, because it's so stretchy, it's a shirt that you'll feel good being active in because it's nice and comfy. So it's only $25 to get that home. Machine wash, tumble dry, just like the hoodie. You do have your choice of the men's cut or the women's cut. And then all you have to decide after that is you want, extra small, medium, large, extra large, or double extra large. And as with the hoodies, you can also feel free to size up, but these are stretchy. Sometimes, with t-shirts, they're not stretchy. And so we wonder, are they going to fit around our curves or something like that? You don't have to worry about that here. $25 to get that home. And then our last item of the show is the Hemp Hat. So it also has their logo. The only difference here is that unlike the hoodie and the t-shirt, this logo is not distressed, and that's because of the embroidery that you're seeing there. So there's two color options. There's this charcoal, and the charcoal has a black mesh in the back, which, by the way, also has the Zen Barn Farms location, kind of reminding you where you're getting it from. And then we also have this green, and the green has a beige mesh in the back. Now, while we're here, I just want to show you this snapping function because it is adjustable. You don't have to worry about, men's size, women's size, anything like that, children's size even. This is adjustable. You can fit it around your hairstyles, different size heads, of course. And because you have that mesh, it's really perfect for, exercising outside. You have a nice little place for like the heat to escape when you're getting all warm from your exercise, and also just get like some nice ventilation. So we have the charcoal and we have the green. Remember, the mesh in the back is a slightly different color. It is embroidered throughout, and it's $25 to get this home. Now, reminds me again, because I know you have a really nice story as to why you include the logos on your apparel. What's the idea behind that?
So this logo is about having that daily zen. It's about the reminder of finding balance in your life. And what's really important too to mention about these hats is that they're also eco-conscious. This is cotton, also made with hemp, and also recycled polyester.
Oh, wow. That's great. And you know what? The other thing with these is that they are really nice and soft. And I just saw it as, as Marlena was holding it. Look at how flexible these are. This isn't a rigid hat. It's nice and soft, which for us is important. I mean, if you don't want something stiff, then you're going to love this. So we have the charcoal, which has the black mesh in the back. Remember, these are all adjustable. You do have the Zen Barn Farms location there reminding you that this is from Vermont in the back. And then you also have the green with the beige. Each one is $25 because they're unisex. Feel free to pick up more than one. The t-shirts are also $25. The hoodies are $50. So, feel free to kind of mix and match. The t-shirts and the hoodies are all green. So if you wanted something that would match that style, then you could go ahead and pick up this green if you want to be monochromatic. If not, if you want to mix and match with some other things, then the charcoal and black would work nicely as well. So just to quickly remind you what we had in the show, we started with some salves, which could be used to topically treat some pain. Of course, you have some anti-aging ingredients in there as well with that CBD and just like overall hydration. We also had the bath bombs. We had flowers, which you could put in honeys or teas or vaporize them or smoke them. We even had pre-rolled joints that you can do that with. And if you need tips for your joints, that was in the show as well. Pipes were in the show as well. And of course, all of the apparel that we just talked about. Now, when you go to sirlagrace.com, you may notice there are more items from Zen Barn Farms. So feel free to take a look at that. We have tinctures and all kinds of products on our website for you to shop. sirlagrace.com is all about plant-based products that really enhance your life, and Zen Barns is one of the many brands that fits within that. So thank you so much, Marlena.
Thanks for having me.
For coming on in. Thank you. And remember, when you shop with Zen Barn Farms, you are giving back to the community in the form of a percentage of the proceeds that go back to social justice causes. So stay with us, because coming up next, we have more CBD products, but for our little